Across the planet, wildfires are intensifying. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. While some are caused by humans, climate change, which includes extended drought and persistent heat, has helped to set the stage for destructive wildfire seasons.
In July 2024, the Park Fire in Northern California became the fourth largest in state history, burning nearly 500,000 acres and 700 homes in just 3 days. Experts say it serves as a stark reminder of how natural disasters are upending lives and inflicting billions of dollars in damage.
We take an in-depth look at this climate crisis and the new technology being used to combat it.
I just wish my house was still there.
A familiar road home on the San Carlos Apache Indian Reservation in Arizona has become unrecognizable for Sheila Patton.
We just all stood up there on the road and just watched it burn to ashes.
Patton's parents passed the property down to her.
Just lost everything. We just have the clothes what we have on our back, that's it.
In July of 2024, nearly 60 years of memories reduced to rubble by a wildfire that ripped through more than 2,000 acres and took more than a dozen homes with it.
And I just can't sleep at night. I just see the fire, the smoke every time I close my eyes.
This pain and loss is sadly not unique.
And it's heartbreaking for everybody.
Across the country, more Americans are encountering the tragic realities of wildfires. In 2023, the vivid, wide-reaching impacts of extreme fires were on display, seen by millions when smoke from massive wildfires in Canada drifted down into the United States.
Everybody's got to evacuate.
Followed by the deadliest U.S. wildfire in more than a century that ravaged the Hawaiian island of Maui, devastating the historic town of Lahaina and killing more than 100 people. According to a recent UN report, climate change and land use change are projected to make wildfires more frequent and intense, with a global increase of extreme fires of up to 14% by 2030 and 50% by the end of the century. Preventative measures are being taken as far north as Alaska.
We have this old house, it's all wood.
Here in Anchorage is where Patricia Peach and her husband have lived in their home for nearly 50 years.
How worried about wildfires are you?
Oh, very. Yes. When it's dry, after a while, you can sense it.
We are embedded in the wildland-urban interface.
Alaska's increasing wildfire threat is alarming. According to the Arctic Research Center, from 2000 to 2020, 2.5 times more acres in the state burned than the previous 20 years. Officials here think these small black boxes could bring much-needed firefighting support. This system is called Fire Spy and consists of these sensors which are mounted on utility poles.
They're testing for temperature changes, humidity changes, looking for smoke in the air.
If fire conditions are detected, an automatic alert is sent to Anchorage Fire Dispatch.
And it has fire detected.
We can prevent it from becoming a larger incident, which is really what we're after.
We gotta move. Let's go, let's go. Come on. Everybody out. Let's go.
In Hawaii, where the charred scars of the Lahaina disaster are still fresh and apparent, a new AI alert system has been unveiled.
This thing could detect fire from 5 miles away under some circumstances.
These sensors can detect heat and use artificial intelligence and smart learning to identify anomalies like smoke particles and gases produced by fires.
The air here is different. You have volcanic ash, you have other conditions. And what smart sensors like this will learn is what does the air feel like here? And what does an anomaly look like? What is a barbecue? What is a fire? What is something else? So you're not always getting false alarms.
In Arizona, utility companies are also using firefighting tech.
Wind speed, wind direction is on the left side as you're looking at it, and on the right-hand side is a rain gauge.
Here, Arizona Public Service has been installing weather stations and cameras on some of its power poles
to understand better what is happening on our circuits.
The system helps the company decide if they need to trigger a public safety power shutoff, or PSPS, to prevent a power line from starting a wildfire.
The data that we get from here, from these weather stations and cameras, will allow us to be very surgical about where those areas are for PSPS.
I put everything to God. It's like, I don't know. You got me choked.
Joe Rubino is an Arizona homeowner doing his own wildfire risk management. He watched bright orange flames from his deck become an inferno as the 2023 Diamond Fire in North Scottsdale grew to nearly 2,000 acres.
It was kind of terrifying in a way, like what's going to happen.
By looking at these homes covered in pink fire retardant, you can sense the fire was very close.
If we didn't keep that clean, it would keep going.
Rubino kept what's known as a defensible space behind his yard. It's something Scottsdale, Arizona Fire Captain Dave Folio says more people can do now to help save their properties.
You just got to eliminate these flash fuels that are on the ground and bring it 3-4 feet up off the ground, cutting back a lot of the limbs and branches that are on these trees.
Like literally a month ago, it was all about this tall.
For Joe Rubino, taking action can, and in his case, has proven to save what he's worked so hard for.
Anything people can do to prevent it saves on a whole lot of stress in all different ways.
From what was saved to what was not is a contrast no one should have to witness.
Especially for the people that lost their houses up there.
Back on the San Carlos Apache Indian Reservation, Sheila Patton looks out at destruction. Missing are homes, cars, memories of what was taken so fast by flames.
I don't know, it's going to take time though, and with people's prayers.
When our camera crew talked to her, she had been staying at evacuation shelters and hotels, relying on donations.
I know a lot of people are praying, and I'm trying to pray myself too.
And trying, even when all appears lost, to realize
we're all together. That's the one thing that counts, you know. All my little family, I got 7 all together. Well, at least we're together.
While the development of this new tech can be helpful to fight fires, if not properly used, it can get in the way. During several recent Arizona wildfires, crews have had to pause much-needed air support because of drones flying in the area.
Whatever's in the air at the time can't fly anymore until we can confirm that the drone's on the ground or it's out of the area. It could cause a crash, it could cause one of our planes to go down, it could cause a helicopter to go down.
The FAA says people caught flying a drone near a wildfire could face hefty fines of up to $20,000 or up to 12 months in prison.